in a little world of.
It's a pleasure, Elvis.
Thank you.
We perform regularly together.
We do. We have had a few gigs. Now, David Drew. Of course, at the moment, I can't say David Drew MP, but maybe in a few weeks' time we will be able to say that.
Hopefully not. If the count's that long, then we've got a problem.
Do you have any other letters after your name?
Probably.
Probably, but MP is the letters you like to have.
Yeah.
I just realized your moustache is gone.
Well, I thought you might do a touch-up job, you see, so I got to prepare for this.
You look like a different person with that. What was the decision behind that? It was.
I thought I'd look younger.
That you do. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes years off it. All right. A round of applause for the new, very youthful, almost boy, elfin-like David Drew. Now, David, the first question, of course, you're going to have to let me know about your way your parliament works, because I'm a newcomer to this country, of course, and Dr. Shiraz is also a newcomer, relatively speaking. So, first of all, the first important question, have you met the Queen?
Actually, yes.
You have?
But more importantly, I sat on her toilet.
You sat on her toilet? Okay. Oh. So,
Tell us more.
was that in...
and it was funny enough, it was an old wooden toilet. I mean, they have terrible times at Buckingham Palace. You know, let's feel it, come on, let's feel it for the Queen!
Yeah.
You've got wooden toilets.
So is that because of the...
Splinters in your bottom.
That's not what you need, is it? No. So, of course, okay, so you have met the Queen, that's great.
In the toilet.
Now, I would like to know, we'll just get these important questions out of the way, if I may, David. Is it true that Jeremy Corbyn only has one pair of trousers? Effectively, he kind of recycles them every time he wears them, or is that...
Well, I'm not sure we've got one pair of trousers, but my old mate Alan Simpson used to say to me, come on, we must get Jeremy dressed properly sometime. Let's take him to Oxfam so we can get him a suit.
Well, I think...
And that's a true story.
Well, I don't know, David, obviously you're a resident of Stroud. You will know that Stroud has its fair share of charity shops, so I think we could dress him up. What are you saying? Sorry? Razmachaz. Is that a new charity shop in Stroud?
Refugee charity.
Okay, well, there we go.
All right, we'll bring Jeremy along.
Let's get Jeremy on the show. Let's get Jeremy on the show. Now, this is going to be a tricky question for you, David, because I'm sure that despite the fact you're on opposite sides of the political spectrum, that it might be tricky. But I'm going to ask you anyway. What do you really think of the person you're fighting against, Mr. Neil Carmichael? What's... Well, give him a chance, please.
No, I mean, as Tories go, he's quite a nice guy. The trouble is, he is still a Tory, so we'll have to get rid of these people. So,
Are there any Tories in the room?
Yeah, we would.
Please leave now. It could only get worse.
In interest of balance, we are gonna. I am gonna put the other side
if
of
there are
that.
Tories, you're welcome. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely fine.
Of course, I don't understand how your country works. Your left, right, red, blue. So I'm strictly.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course you can, sir.
Did you vote for Donald?
No, I didn't, because I in fact, I'm a resident now of the United Kingdom. So I couldn't vote for Donald, and also, anyone who thinks they're more famous than me doesn't get my vote.
No.
So. Thank you very much. Thank you.
He has got more hair than you, so...
Well, yeah.
Tell us more.
Now, David, of course, you've done some amazing things in your career. You've been an MP. You must have voted on some very important issues. But what I want to know is, what's the funniest thing that's ever happened in the Houses of Parliament? There must have been some, is something that you've seen that you can tell us about, some kind of incident that you can think of. Were you there when the flower got thrown?
I was in direct line.
Were you?
I was. Yeah, purple it was as well.
Was
I mean, it
purple?
could at least been red.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Was
yeah.
that scary? Did you wonder what was happening? Did you?
Not particularly.
No, not
Because
so.
I thought, bit of red touch-up would have been rather nice on the old paint there.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, funny things. Yeah. Well, there are always lots of funny things. I mean, meeting people is always funny.
Absolutely.
Let me come back to that one. You asked me another question. Let me think. Dr.
I
Sherry,
hand over to the doc at this point.
Yeah.
Did you ever get
insight.
blindly drunk with Theresa May one night?
Sadly, I am teetotal, and I have to say,
So is
that's
she.
a downer. Well, she may be, but I've only ever seen her as an apparition. I mean, she literally just used to sort of seamlessly appear on the front bench. I don't know she's a real person. I've never known anyone in all the 13 years I was there that I genuinely couldn't say I ever met. I know I'm easy to avoid, but I mean, I just thought I might possibly have bumped into her.
Have you spoken to Mrs. May at all?
Only across the proverbial floor.
Okay.
Because no one ever spoke to her. I mean, clearly no ordinary people have ever spoken to her.
Right.
Because when she met me in Abingdon, she had a bit of a fit, didn't she?
So she was the kind of like that. If their Houses of Parliament was a school, she was the kind of like the head girl that nobody wanted to really talk to. Am I right? And then somehow she became the leader.
She's a very good head girl.
She's a very good
But
head
not a
girl.
good. Not at the moment.
I would be very careful about the way you say that kind of sentence.
Yeah.
Because if there's any press here, do not take that phrase out of context.
And the photos will all be on the...
No, I know. Good head girl, Theresa May. I've been there. Don't worry. Happens to me all the time. I'm sorry, Mr. Drew. We didn't want to stoop down.
No, we're not in the gutter.
No, we're not in the gutter. Not yet. Not yet.
Can we bring up the John? Was it Jimmy or John? John Major, and his affair with Edwina Curry. I mean, there are lots of late nights and bars.
Got to do something like that. I mean, what I would say about John Major, the one thing you notice about him, he's got the biggest hands I've ever seen on a man. And
I thought you were dragging us right back down.
whether that then carried on into other digital functions, I don't know. But I mean,
It's quite a
certainly
lonely-
had his hands full without Edwina.
It's quite a lonely job, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a very lonely job. And,
yeah.
I mean, he must have, clenched a few times.
Well, I always did wonder when I heard about the rumor. We heard about that as well in America when that happened, and I remember looking at a picture of your then Prime Minister, Mr. Major, and not being funny, but I couldn't see what anyone could see in him, to be perfectly honest. But now I've heard about the
hands.
the big digits. Maybe there is something going on. Big John.
He also had
Big John Major.
a very erotic upper lip.
Very.
So I mean,
Did he? Girls, did you find John Major's upper lip attractive? Your hands up. Is there anybody brave enough to say that they had even the slightest attraction to Mr. Major?
Not as much as yours, baby.
Never mind.
More attractive than Gove, though.
More attractive than Gove. Okay. Well, that's
We're going up.
interesting.
on a more serious note, actually, David.
Being serious?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I've got a really important question, and I've been thinking about it, for the last 6 months, actually. And the question is, do politicians have to be sane in order to do their job?
Well, actually, they are supposed to be, but you would think some of the people I've met, you would argue that perhaps that is
They
not
could
the
do
case.
their job.
Technically, you can be disemboweled or whatever happens to politicians if you lose your sanity, but they never test us.
Disemboweled.
Disemboweled.
That's quite serious.
I didn't
Quite
really.
serious, yeah.
We did a thing about medieval torture on the last show, and I thought you Brits had stopped all that stuff now. But apparently not.
Oh, well, I mean, Donald Trump
No.
has obviously has got serious mental health problems, and he seems to be doing fine. So,
That's right.
what's
It's
the
a shame
problem?
about the world, but he's doing fine. Yeah.
Well, actually, you know, he may end humanity by the sounds of it, you know, based on his...
On a cheery note.
We'll come back to a funny story then.
No. Yeah. Apart from the end of the world, imminent from Donald Trump, what I would like to do now, if it's all right with you, David, is take a couple of questions from the audience. Is that okay?
Please. Yeah.
Okay. Has
Well, I
anybody
still think
got
my
a-
funny story.
Oh, you think of your funny story, and I'll see if anybody in the audience would like to ask Mr. David Drew a question. Do we have anybody who'll ask?
Story, but I would just like to know what you are going to do, Mr. Drew, so much that we love you for Stroud.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
so,
dear.
What is it that you can do for us Stroudy people, me as an honorary Stroudy, that will make us all happy and want to vote?
Well,
for you?
I'll come and make a regular appearance with Elvis because I think
Hey!
that's one of the things. And if I'm really successful, he might let me sing a duet with him. But not tonight because we haven't practiced, and I know he needs to.
Don't worry, we can
build up.
We can make that happen.
We can make that happen.
We'll,
Yeah, that's a promise.
We have the people. We have the people
Yeah.
to do that. Okay.
I love you all.
Any other questions for Mr. David from the audience? It could be about anything. Doesn't have to be about politics.
There's a member of the framing community. What about artists?
There's a lady there with her hand up. Sorry,
Mr. Derbyshire? What
Can I
about
just pick up on the lady who has her hand up in the back there? Sorry.
You'll have to shout.
You have to shout.
Bit hard of hearing.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Great person. Great person.
Superpower.
What would it be?
Well, I think I'd want to get Forest Green into the Premier League, you know. But we're getting there anyway, so that's
One thing at a time. One thing at a time.
One thing at a time. Yeah, no, I'd like to make the world a happier place.
Ooh, there we go.
Sad.
Strictly not
Sad.
a superpower, but okay. Is it a superpower? It is. Okay. So the power to make the world a happier place is a superpower. Okay. I was thinking more like flying, invisibility,
kicking a ball well?
kicking a what?
Kicking a ball well.
Kicking a ball well.
Superpower.
Do you think in a fight that you'd be able to take Neil Carmichael?
Definitely.
Well, not with the way that he does his hand press ups, you know. I'm really worried about that. I mean, I've not got to that level. And what I could do is outcycle him now. So
there we go.
I get on my bike and he never catch me.
You heard it here first. Okay, now what? Talking about Stroud, what do you feel is the best thing about Stroud? What's that stands out for you? What makes Stroud? So
We're all
special?
friendly people and we're tolerant and we actually do things. I mean, the thing in Stroud is, being serious for a moment, there is everything in the world going on in Stroud. Every possible thing that happens anywhere else in the world is happening here now.
There's even a talk show.
Whatever it is, there will be somebody in Stroud who's already doing it.
Can I just correct that? Because you did have a lovely massage parlor that was just
Apart
up
from
from
the
the police several years ago, and they closed it down, which I personally think is a great shame. But apart from a massage parlor, you do have pretty much everything else going Stroud. I was told it was totally legitimate.
Yeah,
So,
unfortunately, that moved to Sharpness. And,
okay.
if you've been to Sharpness, you'll know why.
Sharpness. Okay. Make a note of that, Doc. Sharpness. With Sharpness, we're coming to you for our road show. That's great. Okay, David Drew, have you got? This is not a question. Well, it's a sort of question.
It's a sort of.
Are you? Have you got another commitment this evening that you're going to, or can you stick around for a little bit?
Well, I've got to go and see my old mate Jagdish, who's painting the town red.
Ah, we heard that. We heard about that.
Yeah, so I am off on another engagement. The only thing, he did tell me to arrive at 8:30, and as far as I can see, they might be going by about 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay. I think you'll be fine. Well, Mr. Drew, it's been a real
Do you want my
honor.
funny story then?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes, please. Let's have your funny story.
Oh, well, this is actually a
There we go.
foreign story.
Okay.
I went on a trip to Kenya, which is a lovely country, and it's just got so many great people. But we went up country in the back of a Land Rover. Well, rather, I wasn't in the back of a Land Rover. I was with this rather sweet Conservative MP. And we decided that we would take it in turns to be in the front, because it was very dusty. So anyway, I volunteered, being the person I am, to go in the back seat for the first bit of the journey, and of course he sat in the front. Anyway, we got halfway up in the country in Kenya, and he got out and I got out, and I was just so dusty. By the time I got out, we decided that I'd have to remain in the back of the Land Rover for the rest of the journey. Well, that was okay, so we got up country.
Typical Tory.
Yeah, well, I couldn't possibly comment. Anyway, we got up country, and the idea was we were going to see this lovely tribe called the Samburu people, who were kind of like a Maasai offshoot. Those you know, the lovely red headdress and everything. So we got up there, and of course the idea was we would meet these lovely people, and you know, I was by this time immersed in dust, shall we say. So I let my dear friend Christopher take the lead. So he went round and shook the hands of all these lovely Samburu people, and they were always very pleased to see us and so on. So we were then just talking afterwards, and it was about playing. We were with actually a military man, and there were military doctors there, and it was quite moving. I mean, they were looking after the Samburu. So we got discussing with them and said, well, actually, people look remarkably healthy, considering it is a fairly primitive and, dare I say, difficult existence. And my friend Christopher said, well, yeah, they look really healthy. They wouldn't think there's anything wrong with them at all. They said, well, there isn't really, apart from the STDs. And Christopher said, oh, what's the STDs? Having shook hands with all these lovely people. They said they've all got sexually transmitted diseases. You've never seen a Tory go quite as quickly to try and find a tap where he could wash his hands, but such is life. Anyway, enough of that. Thank you for inviting me. I must go and paint the town red.
Ladies and gentlemen, potentially your next MP, Mr. David Drew. Thank you for coming on the show, David. Go paint the town red.